I'm like a couple minutes early, but that's okay. So today's topic is think greater than you feel, right? For me, this was the one thing that was, hard to do because you're going against the grain. Um, so let's remember, this whole journey is full of resistance, right? And now live on YouTube. Just want to check. Okay, everything's good. Um, so before I go get into that, how it's a shit show, but you gotta walk up the mountain in flip flops anyway. You have to with a smile on your fucking face. Right? You gotta smile like a crazy person, right? And you might think people might go, but hold on a second. No, wait a minute. You preach. No, but you're saying no. We take away the resistance. Isn't that because you're going against right the old program of fight or flight, and you're going in with smiling like a crazy? Isn't that? Aren't you fighting up a right? Isn't that? Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. But before we do, let's do an allow and engage session, right? Yeah, let's do it. And let's add a little bit of rain in the background. Let's do that. Maybe I'll turn it down a little bit. Maybe it might be too loud. So let's get into it. So wherever you are, sit down. If you're in your car or if you're watching this in your bedroom or wherever you are, allow all the thoughts and feelings to be there. Let them do their thing, right? And go limby, right? Picture it. I should get like a bunch of cotton and spray paint it red. So picture, go limby, send me the fear, send me what you got. Thoughts, feelings, symptoms, whatever it is. Picture it as a cloud coming towards you, right? You're going to feel shitty. You're going to feel triggered. You're not going to like it. You're not supposed to. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to allow it, right? We're letting it do its thing. We're letting it go crazy, let it run wild. But we're also trying to take some of that energy out by picturing it floating through our chest and our throat, right? Yeah, a little bit more of that ambient rain. Picturing it going through our chest and our throat, allowing it to be there, letting it pass through. So you're feeling it. You're not resisting it. You're not trying to figure it out. You're not analyzing it. You're not putting it on a pedestal. You're not giving it too much focus. You're being a curious observer, right? And you're just kind of let's say it was the thought is this thing, right? We're just letting it. It's passing by. We're just okay. We're not trying to get rid of it, right? We're not analyzing it, right? Judging it, right? You're just letting it, acknowledging it. If you want to, you can acknowledge it, allow it to be there, let it do its thing, thank it. But picture it going through your chest or your throat, right? And then out your back. And if it wants to, it can hang out on your shoulder, right? So you can pick a focal point or you can close your eyes. And I'll try to do it more calm this time. Limby, send me the thoughts, feelings, symptoms, whatever you got, the fear. Bring them to me, right? Bring them to me. I'm allowing you to send me all the ugliness, right? We're picturing it going through my chest and my neck, passing through, letting it do its thing. And then we engage. And when we engage, I'm going to hit this frequency and we're going to melt to it because it feels so fucking good, right? So I'm going to hit this thing. And it's going to hit 528 frequency, whatever you call it. Somebody correct me. Right? And we're going to melt to it. It'll be our self-soothing little message of safety by melting to the sound. Right? The sound of safety. Right? So I'm going to hit this, and then we're just going to melt away with it. Here we go. Picture yourself, your body, your mind, your third eye just melting to the sound of this frequency. Oh yeah, that's good. That feels good. It feels good for me, so you know it's safe. All right, I'm going to do it again. Ready? You can go, Limby, hey, you got some more shit to send to me? Send it to me. Send me the fear, thoughts, and feelings. And let's melt all together with all the feelings. Let's just allow it and melt. Let it do its thing. We can focus on the rain. Here, I'll turn up the rain a little bit. Yeah. Right, we focus on the rain. Picture yourself. Let's see, we're near a mountain. Near the west coast in BC. We just took the dogs for a walk. I got my raincoat on. I'm sitting down on a bench. There's a bench that I put. It's a kilometer away from the home. Nobody's around. It's on the property that I have. And we're just sitting down, and we're just listening to the water. You can see the lake up ahead. You can see the water coming down kind of sideways. And we're just enjoying nature all around us the way it is. And being grateful for this moment. All right. Now let's get back to, now we're going to engage into the conversation that I had. So, think greater than you feel, right? So, easier said than done. It's probably it's supposed to be hard. Don't forget, we're supposed to introduce a new program. So we got to do the hard work of leading in that new program, plus allowing the old program to be there. So you're going to feel the old program. We're going to feel all the emotions that are going to come up and all the symptoms and thoughts and feelings, right? The chaos, the OCD looping thoughts, the nightmare, the fear of these symptoms and thoughts. We're going to let them do their thing. But then you're still supposed to, right? Smile like a crazy person, right? And then lead in this new program. Number one, by doing the 9 pillars, doing the work. So I'm going to go over the 9 pillars real quick, right? Just going to generalize what they are so you get the idea. So not only are we doing the work, this is called the work. When I say you're doing the work, this is what I mean, right? Let's go over the 9 pillars. Okay, here we go. Visuals, right? You're doing visuals every day. I call it, visuals and downloads. In the later on stages of recovery, you're going to get some downloads, right? Your higher self, you get the Wi-Fi downloads, right? Where our job is to update the software, right? And then, the hardware, everything, mind, body, and spirit, they work together as a trifecta. So you get the Wi-Fi, the hardware is your body, and then you got your physical self, and you got the software in your mind that you got to update. So, you get the downloads, but they come a little later, right? So don't worry too much about them. Don't worry that, I'm not getting any downloads. Why am I not? Right? So you got visuals and downloads is number one. Number two is allow and engage. Of course, I'm always teaching that. So you allow whatever is there, let it do its thing, and then you engage. You elevate, playtime, raise your vibration, lift your mood. That's number 3, right? You do that for an hour also. This is every day. You never miss a day, right? You've got to be aware of old behavior patterns, because the old behavior patterns are the things we got to catch and change them, because that's the old program. We got to catch the old program, and we got to change our behavior patterns. That's like talking to Sally about symptoms or body checking, things like that, right? Number 5, exposure and stages. In the beginning, you got a lot on your plate. Everything you do is exposure, so don't even worry about it for now. right? Later on in the journey, you'll be hunting and doing extra exposure. But for now, just doing the 9 pillars and doing, living your life right now is enough exposure. You got tons to work with, tons of opportunities, right? Number 6, preparation. You got to be prepared. So have your schedule, right? Create a bubble. Maybe cut some toxic people out of your life. Stop going down these Facebook rabbit holes. Get off of Facebook, maybe, for 2 years. Stop talking to Sally about symptoms. Stop Googling, right? Some of these. So yeah, preparation. Have a calendar, because you're gonna fall off the path, and you want to be prepared so that you always get back on, right? So put the research on the shelf. Fully commit 1,000%. So all the research that you did in the past 8 years, put it on the shelf, and give your mind and body a chance to do its thing, right? Number 8, routine. Routine is really important. You follow the schedule, your calendar, create a routine that's unique to you. Follow it. On the hard days, you need to stick to the routine. You need to follow the schedule, because that's prime time. That's when it matters. The hard days is where work is done. Don't fall into the trap of taking it easy, self-soothing, because if you do one day, you're going to end up doing all the days, and you're not going to be doing the work, and you're going to be stuck in the cycle, right? So routine is really important, because it also gets you out in nature, which is number 9. Movement in nature, right? And getting back in the swing of things. Movement in nature, routine sends all kinds of messages of safety, and also you're doing exposure, right? And there are golden opportunities. So while you're doing the work, you also have to walk up the mountain, introduce the new program, right? And smile like a crazy person, right? You're walking up this mountain. I know it's very difficult when you're feeling, you got nausea, you feel you're fucking looping on new symptoms, thinking, oh, what's going to happen? Am I going to have MS, ALS? Do I have psychosis? Right? What else was there? MS, ALS, psychosis. Am I going to be like this? Am I going to have some sort of severe manifestation that's going to go extreme? Everything's extreme, right? Am I going to have multiple personality? Something, right? Everything always goes through, and it has to. It can't throw you softballs. It has to be extreme. It has to get you to catastrophize, because if it doesn't, that bear would win and kill you. So it has to find ways to get your attention to the perceived danger. And it'll always be a what if thought that's going to get you to investigate, figure out, try to analyze, try to fix, and obsess about it. That's the point. That's the point of the OCD and the doubt, is to get you to investigate for danger, to scan for danger, right? To look for that intruder, to investigate and look for the reassurance of safety. You're looking for safety. With doubt, what are you doing? You're investigating, looking for safety, because you're in danger. When you're looking for safety, you're implying, yes, I'm in danger. So I know it's very difficult to, smile like a crazy person when you're dealing with all these symptoms and thoughts, when you're making exorcisms jealous. And when you're sitting in the trenches, you feel like you're going to die every third day. That's every time I had these. It usually happened every 3 days, where I thought that's it. I think this is it. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, I'm alive still, but it's probably because I'm dying now. I was about to die 3 seconds ago, but now I am dying. And here's my last breath. I'm still breathing. Yeah, because it's torturing me. It's dragging it out. My death process. This is, wow. It's like, why not me? Of course, this is going to be a dragged out, long death. Of course, here we go. Right? I had those every 3 days, where I was like, yep, everything's breaking down. Something's stopped working, and everything's kind of a domino effect. Now, this is not where, okay, the flow of blood is going to stop. Okay, my brain, I'm going to, sepsis. This is going to gush. This is gush. I thought I heard some liquid move, right? So that you're sitting in the and then the thoughts the thoughts that support it all. It's feeding it. It's just feeding that fire of symptoms that are real in your body. You feel like there's this soul pressure happening in your chest, throat, right? This weird pressure of the feeling of death, or like your soul is leaving. You're like, yeah, it's happening. Oh, everything's getting numb. I'm getting cold. Right? Yeah, I had that every 3 days, and it was horrible, right? And then there's me telling you, by the way, you gotta walk up this mountain. I know you're already walking up this mountain, this lava mountain, in flip flops, and you gotta keep climbing, right? It's like, well, like, you gotta do it. You gotta start. So keep in mind when you're doing the visuals, when you're doing your routine, day to day, all day, you got to fake it till you make it. And yes, I know it's resistance. People are like, yeah, but don't you talk about, you got to take away the resistance. Yeah, we do our best to take away the resistance with our thoughts, right? You allow it to be there, let it do its thing. You take away the resistance, right? And sure, we do that, but you're still going to deal with it. Everything on this journey is resistance, right? The thoughts and everything going against the grain, you're always dealing with resistance. Still saying to yourself, no, we're gonna stick to the schedule. I know it's a hard day. I feel like I have to stay in, but I know we're gonna go against the grain, get in the car, do the visuals, go for a walk when I feel like nauseous and I feel dizzy. I could barely fucking stand up. I feel like I got this new food reaction. What could it be? What if this is right? And you're catastrophizing. That's prime time. That's when you have to do the schedule and stick to it. And act like you're fucking happy. Act like Ned Flanders. Right? We're trying to hardwire happiness because we've been running this old program of dis-ease, which is right? To we'll get to that when you do the 9 pillars, but in order to get to that also, you have to act like you're that too. You got to play the role. You got to play the part. So you got to act like Ned Flanders. You got to smile like a crazy person, right? When you're doing the dancing, like I'm doing right now, right? This is an attitude. This says safety. This says happiness. This is right. The brain will catch up later. Just like when we're doing visuals, right? When we're doing visuals, in the beginning they suck. Right, we're dealing with a lot of resistance. The gate's kind of closed. We're in a state of survival. The brain doesn't want you to sit and dose. It doesn't want you to talk about pussycats and fucking pelicans and rainbows. It wants you to pay close attention to the perceived danger of those laggards in front of us. So you're not gonna, with visuals, you're not gonna feel happy. With the elevating, you're not gonna feel good. You're gonna feel like puking while you're dancing, right? So if you're doing your elevating, should you be like that's like when I say be aware of your old behavior patterns. Don't talk to Sally about symptoms. Okay, but when you're by yourself, you talk to you send a message of danger while you're in the danger of by yourself. When you're by yourself, do you speak danger when you're by? You go, well, I'm not doing it when Sally's here, but still, right? That's reaffirming the program that's reaffirming to the program to keep sending the alarms because we're in danger. And the same thing is when you're elevating. Don't waste the opportunity of elevating when you're sending a message of danger by frowning or being miserable, right? And going, oh, but I feel sick. But I feel sick though. Right? How often are you frowning? How often do you look fucking like miserable? How often do you look like this? Right? This is a message of danger in the danger. This isn't ease, isn't rest and digest, isn't, oh my God, I love my life. Right? So think about that. I have a little list to remind me. So act like Ned Flanders, smile like a crazy person, right? Think greater than you feel. And when you're dancing, don't dance with a frown. It doesn't work. Be aware of that. Go, oh yeah, I shouldn't be dancing with a frown. I should be like smiling. But it's hard to smile because I don't feel happy. Oh my God, that's not, I don't feel, that's like, it feels like I'm going against the grain. It feels like it's resistance. Yeah, but frowning is just as hard. Might as well smile, right? You're doing the work. Think of this. Are you doing the work? Be aware. This is where you have to be aware of your behavior patterns. Throughout the day, even set on an alarm once a day, go, what am I doing? Am I smiling? Or am I frowning? Right? When you're doing your visuals, are you like, right? Be aware of your frown. Fake it till you make it. Try to hardwire happiness and keep this in mind all the time. And this is where you have your post-it notes. You put it on your car dashboard, right? And you see it. Oh yeah, smile, right? You look, okay, smile like a crazy person, because it's a good alarm. When you smile like a crazy person, it's a good alarm to set for contrast. Because if you're talking about symptoms and you're smiling because you hardwired that habit in, because you're like, oh yeah, smile. It's a good alarm that you set, because it reminds you when you start talking about symptoms, hey, I shouldn't be talking about symptoms. Hey, maybe I should smile more. Maybe I shouldn't frown all the time and look like I'm fucking miserable. Right? Because this shit does work. If you fake it till you make it, you will. Right? You're creating, you will eventually feel what you're faking. Right? Your brain will catch up. This shit's real. This is what makes it so hard, because not only are you doing the 9 pillars, not only are you allowing the misery, the symptoms, not only are you making exorcisms jealous every second, right? Exorcisms are like, right? You're making them run away, and then you're expected to be Ned Flanders, right? Well, you got this gastritis and this pain over here, right? And you got these weird fucking spots in your eyes that you can't, right? These floaters, right? You got this stabbing pain going in your gut, and you just remembered, the brain won't let you forget. You just saw blood in the fucking toilet today while you took a fucking shit with there was an undigested olive there. Also, what does this mean? There was like white pasty shit in the toilet. I know I shouldn't have looked in the toilet, but right? And you gotta swallow, and you gotta allow it. But be aware of, allow the thoughts to be there, but don't ruminate. Don't try to figure it out. Don't analyze. I know it's hard. It's like a big magnet that you can't, or it's like this crazy itch that you need to, like you need to itch, but you got to try not to itch it. Let it be there. Don't judge it. Don't analyze it. Don't try to figure it out. Let it do its thing. And smile, right? Are you frowning when you're talking about your schedule and what you're going to do today? You wake up, right? Which is hard enough. We're going to talk about morning anxiety, which is, I know what that's like. I dealt with that for 3 years. It took that long to make that shift, right? And that's okay, right? It's okay, because it will shift. You got to make it. You got to make it to a point where it's your normal life. It becomes your friend. That's how you neutralize anything. You neutralize everything by normalizing, by having it there more often, and not giving it any special attention that makes it like a message that, I don't want you. You need to go away. I need to get rid of you. You're dangerous. I'm putting a lot of attention on you. I'm obsessed with you. I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of you. Like, that's what keeps it there. And when you finally get to a point where it becomes part of your furniture and you're indifferent to it, that's when it lifts. That's when it goes away. So today's topic is think greater than you feel. I know it's difficult, but so is everything else in this journey. This journey from here to here, even to here, it's just different here, right? Just like it's different here, it's different here, it's different here. It's just a different batch of bullshit. Different colors, different spectrum of craziness. But it's still crazy. Like, the beginning was fucking insane. The middle is insane, but different, right? And the end's insane. Even if, this is interesting, because I used to think this, yeah, I've been through all the stages. I've graduated. This is fucking, Yeah, if I were to go from here back to here, maybe, maybe not. Maybe you'd be like, holy fuck, I remember now how hard this was. Oh man, sure, I have the knowledge, but it'd still be a little bit of a challenge. It would still kind of suck, but I know what to do, right? It's, every stage is different, um, and it's hard. They're all hard. They're just, a different bag of shit. For me, I was dealing with all these mental alarms, setbacks, right up to the end, and they were intense. They were relentless. Little less physical symptoms in the middle, a lot less physical symptoms in the end, but it was mostly alarms, mental. That's what I meant to say. It was mostly mental alarms near the end. But throughout that journey, I was very dedicated to elevating. I was having music in my car, listening to reggae music. I was tapping away, doing my visuals like this was my religion. This lifestyle was my religion. I had to bring that survival state baseline down over time. Music is great, visuals, elevating, but not only that, you got to fake it till you make it. You got to smile like a crazy person. You got to literally hardwire happiness, and it's hard work because you're a 3D environment. Everything around you is lying and saying danger, and you feel like shit. So when you're about to right, that's what it fucking takes. Or this pain. Right, eventually you'll get better at it and you'll authentically really feel that, but then the baseline comes down also, and the symptoms will, you'll be indifferent to them. Thing is, you build indifference, you build leverage over time. You don't have it right away, right? That's why this journey is such a shit show, and that's why I like to keep it as simple as possible, because right there, it's the hardest thing you're going to do, because it's something you got to stick to. That's what makes it hard, right? That's my goal, is to keep people on the path, to never give up, never get off. Because if you stay on the path, you'll make it. The brain has no choice but to change. So I hope that gives people, a bit of a motivational thing about, you got to fake it till you make it. Even when you feel like shit, you're going to feel like shit. That's a guarantee. But you got to still try to, pick yourself up. And while you're picking yourself up, smile. Right? Alrighty. Let's see if you got any comments, questions, or, stuff. Yo, what's going on? What up, broski? What's going on? So, let's see what you got. Let's see. Is there an age you can have this mind-body stuff? Like, can kids get it? My daughter seems to have stomach issues. Yeah, any age, doesn't matter. Right? Even when people are born. It can be something that's passed on from the parents. Right? Stress can be passed on. It could be also, the parents or that generation going back. No, their parents and the parents before that. Well, just think, they were brought into the world with their parents being in a survival state. Let's say their baseline was at 1,000 because of their environment. So that, nature makes sure that they're born with the baseline at that same level, so the offspring have a better chance of survival. So that, they have a better chance of making it. So they hit the ground running, because the program's been set that there's laggards everywhere that you have to flee or fight. Right? Which sucks, but it is what it is. It's not a good thing, not a bad thing. It is what it is. It's all about survival. Right? That's what it is. And yeah, it can be any age. Mostly, people used to say, well, we used to know that old people get sick more often. It makes sense. The buckets get fuller with age. When the 70s baseline starts to reach that survival state. But nowadays, anything is on the table. We're dealing with a lot more curveballs and stress than humans have ever dealt with before. It's concentrated stress through the internet, cell phones, relationships, right? You name it. It's times 1,000. So, you know, we're getting stressed in all kinds of ways. So yeah, it doesn't matter the age. Awesome. Helmet, I'm on the Golden Gate Bridge. Thanks for everything you do. Awesome, man. That's amazing. Love it. Helmet, you left the shower on. I think it's leaking. I don't know what that means. Be more specific. Oh, do you mean leaky gut? Could be. Um, okay. Yes. Morning anxiety, depression is huge. Yep. I had that for all 3 years. And I couldn't shake it. And I kept trying to get rid of it. And I did the methods. And the thing is with the methods, when you allow something to be there, and I always say this because I experienced this firsthand. And I learned this from also the Dare app. They were saying this also. And I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, I get it. And other people I talk to, it's they're saying, don't use the allowing as a way, as a weapon to get rid of what you don't want, because that reaffirms that what you're trying to get rid of is danger. So it keeps the alarm on. I'm like, okay. So I'll authentically allow with no strings attached. I won't look to see if it's gone. I'll let it do its thing and I'll become friends with it. So I did, right? I was indifferent to it. I would allow whatever symptom it was. I'd be like, meh, here, there. But I also noticed it was still there for a while. I was like, okay, I've been indifferent to you for a while now. And I know I said I want you to be here for another 2 years, but technically you should be gone because I'm so indifferent. I'm fine. You can be here for another 3 years. I'm just noticing you're still here. You're getting a little annoying. But whatever. C'est la vie. We're going to continue. And I noticed that it will do that. I think that's there's 3 stages. You allow it, and you don't try to get rid of it. Allow it. There's no strings attached. And then when you finally have indifference to it, it still hangs around. That's the shitty part, because it fucks with you. The doubt comes in and it wins. And then you think there's something else that you missed. Maybe I missed the leaky gut bullshit. Maybe the mitochondria. Maybe my gut brain barrier. Maybe the detox. Maybe the motherfucker gene. I knew I missed something. And then the third part is it lifts, and then that's it. You've made it to the other side. Right? You recalibrated. You reprogrammed that danger alarm to safety. You neutralized it. It's 0. So it does that. Maybe I can draw it in a picture. Right? So there's the beginning, chaos, where you allow it. And then there's a long time where it lingers. This is a stupid picture, but anyway. So you got you start doing the methods. You're still doing the methods, and it's still hanging around. You're not trying to get rid of it. You're authentically used to it. You're like, hey, we're friends. We're friends. We're friends. And you're still there. We're friends. You're still there. Holy fuck, man. That's okay. That's okay. And eventually, you don't even think about it. It's still there. Then you get to a point where I don't know if you're still there. Just like dizziness, I noticed. I don't know if you're still there. And eventually, it goes away. That's how the anxiety worked for me. But I'm going to do a separate thing about morning anxiety, because it needs special attention for sure. Let's do the overlay so everybody can see. Or maybe I should do, that works. I could do it. Okay. So fake it till you make it, eh? Yep. Bake it till you make it. M&M or vanilla ice? Who do you like? I liked Vanilla Ice. He was good in his time. He brings me back to the, I think it was the early 90s. Eminem's he's, man, that guy's a genius. He's most talented by far. But can I listen to one of his albums and I get bored? It just sounds like it sounds boring after a while. So I'd rather listen to Vanilla Ice. I can get into Vanilla Ice and go. I can sing along, right? Right. Eminem's more like a type of guy you hear something once, you go, wow, that's insane. I don't have to hear it again, right? So yeah, no problem. So I got a couple of guests coming up this week. Really important. We got, this is going to be a good one, really good one. Ron, this guy, I got him from Facebook, and he's going to be talking about Crohn's and how he fully recovered from Crohn's. Exciting. I got a couple ulcerative colitis. I think this will be my first Crohn's success story. And I got Dr. Dan Reitner. He's joining me this Thursday, which is going to be awesome. And then we're doing Tea in the Trenches this Thursday, January 30th, with Sam, right? And we're just going to be chit-chatting on whatever, random shit. It's going to be ongoing every 2 weeks, every Thursday. Might be a little early. And me and Sam are working on getting together something. It'll be pretty big for me. We want to get something together like a CFS program. It'll be big. There'll be group coaching involved, and she's going to be the teacher, the sergeant, because she's like a sergeant. She's very right. But she's the go-to when it comes to CFS. I don't know anybody who's doing it like her. She knows that shit inside in, right? And she's going to get you to the other side 1,000%. So we figured, well, why don't we do something so that you're able to fully have something that people can watch and be a part of a group, right? So we're working on that right now. That'll take some time, but I think that's exciting. I think it's awesome. Okay, let's see. Did I miss a couple of questions here? Did you ever? No, I never had gallbladder issues, but I thought I did because my brain was playing tricks on me, and I was checking my gallbladder for like a year every night because I was body checking, and even when this is when I was body checking everything, obsessive, and I had my I don't have a pendulum. I had a pendulum. Like I was obsessively body check. I was in a hospital 3 times a week, and they would check ultrasound. They would check. They give me blood work. They'd be like, "Everything's fine, sir," and I wouldn't. It wasn't good enough for me. I'd question what they said. I'm like, "Yeah, but if this is right." So for me, eventually, I did the methods. I allowed it to be there. I had pains, right? Eventually, I became indifferent to it, and then it fucked off. Yeah. So many symptoms move on and leave, but new ones you have still overwhelm you completely. Yeah. I had like the 6 alarms. There were 6 alarms that were brutally scary, and then the rest were just scary for that week. Right? So you have, some of these big traumas or big alarms that linger around with you. They hang, it's like a cloud that hangs around you all the time. But every day we allow a bit of it. Every day we bring it with us on our journey. We bring it with us in our routine. Every day, it's our friend. We pull it with us like a leash. The cloud, you just imagine this leash around this cloud, right? We pull it with us, and we take a piece of it every day and dissolve a little more, right? That's just how it goes. The brain is so quick to forget all you've overcome. Yes. This is why contrast happens after you look back. Because the journey sucks throughout the whole thing. And when let's say you're halfway there, you're like, why do I feel horrible still? Why am I feeling worse? Why am I getting this new crazy symptom? Why am I, right? Why am I? But then when you look back, let's say you're in the third year or 2.5 years ago, what was I dealing with, 2.5 years? Wow, that's interesting. I'm not no longer scared of this. Whoa, wow. You get the contrast, and then you see how much you've went through and how much something doesn't trigger you anymore and how many symptoms you don't have anymore, right? So when you see that contrast and you see the evidence, then you're like, oh, I got to keep going. Yeah, this is guaranteed. This is guaranteed. I'm sifting through all the alarms and I'm overturning them all one by one, right? So it just takes time. You will get there, right? You got to sift through all the alarms, turn them off one by one, and don't forget they turn on again. So it takes a couple times to turn an alarm on and off because the baseline, that's the boss. That's what we're working on. Baseline. When the baseline's up, old alarms turn on again. Right? This is the boss. Right? Right? With that dictates everything. But we can only bring this down while we allow these alarms. The alarms are the little opportunities that help us bring that baseline down, along with visuals, along with elevating it, and faking it till we make it. Right? Faking it till we make it. Right? So we don't frown while we elevate. The brain is so quick to forget. All you have to overcome. Evidence diary, yes, is vital. Because you can go back to that symptom that you had in August and go, oh, fuck, I'm having that again. Oh, it passed. And this is how I handled it. It took 6 days. Okay. Okay. Let's write that down again. And you move through that delay quicker. Right? All right. Let's see. Yeah. To show just how much you've managed so far. All right. All right, here we go. Update. Christina. I went to an urgent care thinking I had an UTI. Yep, I don't. It feels so real, but the x-rays showed a lot of stool. She said, oh, I had that. I went there because I thought I had another diverticulitis flare because that was, I thought I had that every day for a year, no, 2 years, right? In the beginning, this is where I would run like a bitch. My brain goes, go investigate. I'm like, right away, sir. And then I went. I was like, can we do another CT scan? They're like, you just had surgery. You should be. I'm like, I don't know. It feels like it's happening again. Okay, we'll do CT scan with the ink thing. I'm like, no ink, please, because I will have a reaction to the ink. Can you please not do it, right? And this is where I was reacting to CT scans. This is where I was like, I felt like I was a glowing, like a, what would you call it? Like glowing, what would you call that? Radioactive glowing being, right? After a CT scan, I'd be like, everything felt hot, burny. So they did the CT scan, and then she said, we do see a lot of stool. You're backed up. You need to take a good poop. I'm like, all right, fuck. Thank you. I'm like, how can you see? Wait, hold on. How do you see that? And bypassing the, how do you, maybe there is something wrong. How are you able to see through the stool? Huh? Oh, fuck. Anyway, I'm so happy I got through that. I allowed it, let it do. Sure, I fell on my face. Sure, I fell on my face a lot, but that's the leverage that you start from. And eventually you become indifferent and you stop going to the, the emergency room. You start trusting your body and not needing reassurance every time. Yep. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. I keep getting new symptoms, but my normal ones are still there. They haven't left. Yep. Get used to it. I had my 70 symptoms, but they just moved around, right? I would have like 15 that were there 24 now. Probably like 20 that were 24/7, and all the other ones would just move around, right? Come and go, or move around. So don't analyze it. Really, it's pointless. Doctor told me to eat more fiber. That's what they usually do, right? You got to remember, you're in a state of fight or flight, so your bowels aren't moving the best. They're not absorbing the best. So what I would tell you to do is use whatever you need to use to get the bowels moving so that you're more comfortable, so that you can do the work. Because doing the work is the most important thing. But you can't do the work if you're in mental chaos because you're worried about your bowels, or the bowels are hurting, or whatever symptom is too loud and screaming so hard that you can't fucking focus on the work. It's cock blocking. So use whatever methods that you need temporarily. If it's avoidance behaviors, if it's coping mechanisms, use them, right? Use them hard. And just so that you can get the relief, so you can concentrate on the work, because the work is everything and you need to stick to it. Because I needed you to do the 9 pillars. I need you to smile like a crazy person and be Ned Flanders, right? And go against the grain. Introduce that new program of ease while you're walking up that Mount Everest in flip-flops. It's full of ice, but there's also lava pouring down at the same time. Yes, you need to do that. So whatever you got to do to manage and cope, use it up. It's only temporary. Eventually, right, you're going to stop doing these things because you would have done the work. The baseline would come down, and all these symptoms will let go and release, and poof, be gone. And then you'll be able to poop normally, right? But until then, do what you got to do. And don't feel guilty, and don't worry about what these gurus tell you to. No, that's while you're reaffirming to the brain that what you're avoiding or what you're managing, is a problem. So it's going to keep it there. Yeah, so what? But in the meantime, you're able to do the work and move through this and heal. Because a lot of these TMS gurus don't believe in the work. They don't. It's a dirty word, right? And I do believe you need work. I do believe you need steps that you need to do every day. It's not something where you can just dial down the fear and live life. That will not work. It might work if you have back pain only, but not if you have OCD looping thoughts, relentless anxiety, right? Intrusive thoughts, and 74 other symptoms. That will not work. That will not work. You can try it and see how it goes, but it won't work though. Engage. So engage means engaging in anything that does not involve with focusing on symptoms, right? So it could be engaging, could be, well, I'm going to allow this thing, like you have a schedule, right? That you're sticking to every day. You have to write a schedule from your day. You write it out, right? You go, okay, I wake up at da. Then I get up and then I listen to a daily dare, and then I listen to one of Helmut's videos. Then I take a shower, right? And then I get in my car. I leave the house every day. It's all written down, the exact time. And I leave the house at 8 o'clock, 7:30, and I'm already on the trail in my car, having a tea, doing my visuals, my 1 hour. I'm having a meeting with myself. I'm feeling the feelings, and I'm doing my visuals for that 1 hour. Then I'm done around 9:30-ish, because, there's certain things that I'm trying to figure out, and put this over here, and maybe I got to work on this, right? So you might be done at 10. And then after that, you go for your walk. Maybe you go for a 2-hour walk. You already do a walk and talk, right? So you write all this shit down. This is your schedule, right? You go home, you got to prep some food, right? So opportunity to dance. While you were in the car before you went to do some prepping, you were tapping away, listening to music in the car. Oh yeah, you had to get some ground beef. So, okay, by the time you're done making lunch, eating lunch, it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock. And then you're like, okay, what's next on my agenda, my schedule? Oh yeah, I got to go and do 1 hour of elevating and dancing and playtime. Okay, you do that 1 hour, blah, 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 3 o'clock, 3:30. It's already 3:30. Okay, what else I got to do? A couple other things on your schedule. It's already time to prep for dinner. So you're dancing away, dinner time, right? And that's your day. You got all these things that you're doing. The 9 pillars are in your schedule. And when you're doing this, right, when a thought, feeling, or symptom comes up, you allow it to be there. You give it a second. You go, right, you put that shovel down because it snowed, right? You're shoveling. You're like, let's put that away. You allow it, let it do its thing. You don't rush it out the door. Let it do its thing. And you're like, okay, now we just allowed it. Now we're going to go engage. Engage to whatever activity that you're doing, which, it's like living life. You're living life. Okay. We're getting back to engaging. You pick up the shovel, you start shoveling again. You bring that thought with you on your shoulder because we're not fully distracting. We're allowing it to hang out. And if it keeps harassing you, going, yo, but, yeah, but, okay. Hold on. Let me just shovel this whole area here, and then we'll do an allow engage session. So then you shovel that area, and you go, okay, I know I can hear you. I know I was allowing you while I was shoveling, but let's go inside and I'll allow you, or go in the car, or go on the trail, or focus on that tree across the street and go, okay, what do you got? Okay, good. Okay, now we're going to go to the grocery store because I got to go engaging. I got to buy some shit. I got to buy some lettuce, tomato, onions because we're making burritos. So I'm going to do that. You're going to come with me. So, it's coming with you before you go to the grocery store. It's harassing you again. I'm like, all right. I'm like, this is 24/7 for me, by the way. I was always dealing with OCD looping thoughts, but I was still within reason. I was probably processing thoughts 500 times a day-ish, right? 200 to 500 times a day-ish. That's how often it was. Easily. Right? You'd be surprised how much it is. So then it'd be like, okay, before I go to the grocery store, let's do an allow and engage. So allow the thoughts, feelings. Okay, let me send me the fear, the thought, feeling. Oh, yeah, it sucks. Okay, you pass it through with your back of your chest, back of your back, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to go get some groceries. So you bring it with you, and you're engaging in getting the groceries. So whatever it is that you have on your list, you always have things that you're engaging in because you have a schedule that you follow every day. The schedule is pretty much the same shit every day. You know it like the back of your back, but you still have it written down, right? No matter what, you never have it bare. And when you're done that day, get a sticker, put it on there, done, completed. A hard day, the hard days are the best days because that's where most of the work is done. Put a sticker on it, right? Keep Post-it notes for unique things that come up that day. It's like, well, you don't need ground beef every day, but you need it on the Tuesday. Maybe on the Wednesday you need avocados. I need to buy avocados. So this is where you have the detailed reminder of what you need to get. So that helps you engage. That's why the 9 pillars are very important, because they help you engage, and they make sure that you're doing the work, right? You're not stuck at home getting hijacked by your thoughts, doing nothing and ruminating. That's the goal. Engaging is very important. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. Did I talk about this one already? Maybe I did. I think I did. How to deal with fear that something is really wrong. I was dealing with that 24/7 for 3 years. It'll be anything, even if it doesn't have anything, even if it doesn't have an actual subject, like catastrophizing thought, like that pain you have there, right? It's something serious. It's going to gush. You're going to die of sepsis, right? That's one thing. But sometimes the brain had nothing, and you could feel it looking. Once you understand what's going on, it's irrelevant what it sends you, because it is. You know what it's doing. It's trying to get your attention to perceived danger, because your baseline's, you're not out of the woods yet. Your baseline's still elevated. Right? Once you understand it and you've been through it, you experienced it, you sat in the fear, you sat in that fire, you understand it because you're sifting you're sitting in the trenches. This is your learning. This is why it's so important. This is why it took me 3 years, because you need to sit in the trenches, right? Simmering in that fear juice, in the alarms, to understand them fully so that you can make the changes and understand them with confidence. Right? How do you change anything unless I don't understand? You have to understand it by experiencing it. The only way you really change anything is by experiencing it and allowing it to be there. Sit in the fear. This is like a lot of learning. It's a lot of learning, right? Sitting in it, knowing what it's like, and when it comes back, you got the experience under your belt. You're like, oh, okay, well, let's allow it and do its thing, and right. Don't overanalyze. Don't put it on a pedestal. Treat everything the same, no matter what it is. Thought, feeling, symptom. Just allow it. Get used to being uncomfortable. Get used to being scared. This is the journey. They're your friends now. Let them be around. Let them linger. Right. So I think I answered that. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on. Um, Revved up. No, I didn't really have that. For me, it was, I was able to do everything. I was pretty much unstoppable. I could walk 12 kilometers, no problem. I was physically strong. I could do anything. But I had such a schedule that, I was always busy. So maybe somebody, for comparison to somebody else, it might feel revved up, but to somebody else, it might be a normal schedule. So I guess it depends on what your lifestyle is and the contrast comparison to somebody else. It might be, or maybe, yeah, you were revved up or you are revved up and I wasn't. But so what? Allow it to be there. Let it do its thing. Just like the opposite of it, you would do the same. You would allow it to be there, let it do its thing, keep engaging. What if your mechanism, your coping mechanism, is phone addiction? I find it so hard to stop, but it's very overstimulating. Yeah, I had the same. I still have the same. I'm still addicted to being on the phone. So I have to, uh, just like anything in this journey, you're going to have resistance. Like anything in this journey, there's no trick. You have to make the choice and just stop doing whatever is not good for your journey. Just like um, looking for reassurance, researching on Google, going down these Facebook rabbit holes, right? Phone addiction. You just have to stop because this is your life. This is your, at the end of the day, this is your movie. So if you need to, you can hide some of these apps, put that into your routine, right? If you're really serious about this, put it in your routine. Go, all right, we're doing this. I'm going to hide the TikTok app. You know where it is, but it's not always in sight, so you're not tempted, right? You put it, you hide it, and then you tell yourself in the schedule, after made sure we did all the work, then when we go to bed tonight, I'll be able to open that TikTok app and take an hour and a half and just chill out in front of TikTok, right? That's your little treat. But you schedule time for it and you stick to that every day. So it could be your little reward. Reward. Right. Here we go. How can you be sure? How can you be sure that you are accepting symptoms or emotions? Well, you mean accepting? Well, you try your best, right? You won't be perfect at it, especially in the beginning. You're going to still distract. You're going to still find yourself. This is where you got to be aware. Am I distracting? Right? The best way to know if you're allowing is to see if you're doing the opposite of allowing. That could help you get some clarity. So if you have a what if thought or a symptom or whatever, and you're like, I'm confused. I don't know if I'm allowing, because our brain can do that. It can make us confused where we don't understand shit. So you just go to yourself, okay, this symptom is here. Or this thought, there's a thought there. Am I distracting from it? No, I told it to send me the thoughts and feelings, and I'm feeling the discomfort. Okay, then you're allowing. Good enough. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it doesn't have to be perfect either. We just try our best to find that sweet spot. And if you need to find the contrast and see, am I doing that? No? Good. And there you go. Right. Here we go. What was that, Jeanette? It's 24/7 for me too. Thoughts. Yep. I'm working full time still, so I'll have to slow my pace to allow throughout the day. Yep. And then re-engage in work. Exactly. And work is a really good work was really good later on in my journey because it was a really good way to engage, and you can bring it with you. So work is great for that. I bought a bunch of Dr. Sarno's books, and I maybe read one, and I skimmed through a couple of the other ones. A lot with it for me, it was because in the beginning I was triggered by any book, and I bought all these fucking books. And then I just figured it out, and I didn't want to read these books anymore because I didn't want that to taint my experience of what I was learning because it was working for me. And then afterwards, I'm like, "Ah, I got all these books. I can read them now because I'm not triggered." I'm like, nah, you know what? I'm just going to stick to my experience because this is my authentic experience. I really went through the 70s symptoms ish. Took me 3 years, and I didn't read all these books. I tried a couple programs, talked to people, tried some other things, became my own guinea pig, experimented, added the Dare app, which was beautiful. Uh, I did read A Life at Last. That one I did. It wasn't very triggering. And I figured it out and got to the other side, right? And I found some golden nuggets, and I have my own way of viewing it. Um, and I don't want to read all these other approaches because for me, I'm like, okay, these doctors have these symptoms. I'm grateful for them because they're bringing awareness to my body space and they helped many people, many people. So that's great. But for me, this is my opinion. This is for me, this is just for me. I'm like, okay, did they deal with a lot of symptoms? No. Then I don't really want to open that can. I don't want to change because it happens. You have your experience. You read other books. You read other things, right or wrong. You might read somebody's this or that. It might be better or a golden nugget or wrong, or you don't agree with it, and you eventually it starts to you start to latch onto it and make it your own, right? You go, oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that's cool. I'm gonna keep that. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to fully just talk about my experience, and I'm sure there's been things I've latched onto here and there. Yeah. But I want to keep it the way it is because I like being able to speak from the heart, from the experience that I had, and it worked. It worked fucking beautifully. Um, Air hunger. So I had times where I couldn't. I had labored breathing. I had tightness in my chest. Um, and I didn't know how long. I was like, "Fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna. I don't know when my next breath. I think I'm only gonna last a minute. My oxygen must be. Are my lips blue? Like I was always checking my lips, right? And then I was at the hospital many times for this kind of shit. Probably 10 times just for the tightness of my chest and labored breathing. And they were always like, "Your oxygen's fine, sir." I'm like, "Fuck." So now I got to stay here because the doctor's got to check me over because the nurse would be like, "Look," right? They check my weight and they like, and I did most of it for them. I'd be like, "So you want me to stand here? Okay, I'm gonna put this thing on. I'm ready." Like, okay, sir, no, I have to do that for you. No, okay, oh, like I already knew all the information for them because I was there like 2 days before. Um, the only thing I did eventually, I had to stop body checking and do the methods. Allow and engage, let it do its thing, and make that choice to stop body checking, stop looking for reassurance, stop, looking for checking my blood pressure, my temperature, my heart rate, um, and surrendering fully. Going, you know what? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And and I would agree with the catastrophizing thoughts. I'm like, how about this is gonna happen. This is gonna pan out. Okay. Well, I hope it happens. And I hope it happens for the next week. And if it says I'm gonna blah blah blah, okay, let's see if it happens. Because it was so much easier for me to go, let's see what happens and surrender than for me to keep trying to control and control. The survival feeling was just overwhelming and exhausting. And it put me in a survival state and made things worse. So I let go. And I had to practice that and just allow it. And eventually I trained myself to be indifferent and I stopped analyzing and I became indifferent, but it took time. Um, how do you stop body checking? It's hard. Um, I went from severely body checking constantly, even using a pendulum for looking for reassurance. I was checking that 50 times a day. Like, I was crazy with this shit. But slowly, making that choice, and still, you're human, you're going to slip, you're going to make the mistakes of going back and checking. Slowly, first of all, I had to get off Facebook. Then I had to cut off certain people. Then I had to stop treating the mind-body space as an obsession also, and constantly researching it. Whatever I was working on, I would just stick to that, and the rest of the day was living life. So I had to make the choices to cut certain things off. This is where you do preparation. This is where you create the bubble, right? And set yourself up for success so you don't give in. It's like having drugs all around. You're not going to be successful. You're going to keep these drugs around. So you have to be prepared and really set yourself up for success. But it takes time to get there, because I was still going to the hospital while doing these methods, right? But it went from 3 times a week to once a month to that was it, right? Slowly. And I stopped doing my pendulum 50 times a day to once a week to once 6 months, right? And I stopped looking in the toilet. So once you start, making the choice to stop doing certain things, sure, you make a couple of slip ups. You might have looked at Google that one time in 6 months. Okay, that beats 8 hours a day of Googling. That's a big improvement. And sure, you'll slip here and there, but the goal is, as long as you're improving, you will get there. You'll have less of it, because every time you do these things, you're allowing 10 ligers in the room, which brings your baseline up, which brings you more alarms. So over time, it's just, you totally sabotage yourself, right? You start from scratch. As soon as you investigate and Google a symptom, you go into survival. So eventually, you stop doing things more often, and eventually, it's it. It's like a learning curve, but you will get there as long as you start and you try your best every fucking time. Right? Just because I said you're gonna make them, you're human. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna slip. Don't use that as an enabling thing to do it. Go, well, Hamid said he made a couple mistakes, so I'm gonna go ahead and look. Okay, what does it say? What is it? Right? Don't do that. Take every time as serious as always. Like every time it's serious not to investigate, because then if you don't, you won't get there. So, exactly. All right, guys, I gotta wrap up. Let's see. All right, we'll take one more from Traxy, and I'll probably be on live again this week. I don't want to wait till Thursday. So whoever I missed, I'll get you the next round. How do I deal with the insomnia where it drains you too much to do the work until you get sleep? When I expose to getting out of the house, I lay awake, drenched in sweat, cooking on the inside, hallucinating. Oh yeah, I had all kinds of. I would be shivering. I'd had chills, or I'd be sweating in bed. I had all that, but also with insomnia, you got to start doing the work religiously, no matter what. With the insomnia, you're going up the mountain. This is the work. This is the hell. Plus the 70 symptoms, right? This is the shit show. So, and you wake up every day at the same time. You take away the resistance of the insomnia. This is like another video. I think I have an insomnia video. Make sure you check it out. I'll look. You know what? I need to. You know what? I got to do an insomnia video because it's a bigger subject. Maybe I could talk about that also on Thursday with Sam. That'd be good. Okay. Let me write it down. It's important to keep a schedule, like to stick to a sleeping schedule, even if you have your insomnia. Don't try to chase sleep and try to make up, right? Because then you're just reaffirming to the brain that it's a danger, and you're putting focus on it. You're putting on a pedestal, and the brain keeps that on. It's like, yeah, no, right? Do the work, bring the baseline down, have patience, right? Also, you're getting out in nature, you're walking, you're doing all these things will also help regulate not just hardwiring everything, but it also get you to a point where you become indifferent to the insomnia. You invite it in, you actually ask for more of it, so you learn to be indifferent to it. It's no longer perceived as dangerous, and you will sleep when your brain is ready to let you sleep. You don't try to force it. You don't try to get rid of the insomnia, because the more you try to get rid of it, the more it stays. Don't analyze it. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to fix it. You have to let it just be the way it is, and it will decide when your nervous system decides to calm down. It will calm down when it's ready. Same thing with the insomnia when it's ready. Same thing with the muscles spasm. They will resolve when they're ready. The anxiety, the morning anxiety, it will lift when it's ready. When when the baseline truly is back down at standby, and you're running a program of ease, right? That's when it'll shift. But until then, don't try to force it, because it'll keep it there. Awesome. Okay, so I'll do a little bit of insomnia, and I'm sure that Sam will bring in some of the emotional work part of it, because she's an emotional work, you know, guru, especially with the what do you call that? The shadow work, right? She's really great at that. So we'll bring in some of that in there. So you got your bases covered, right? I'll be talking more about the survival stuff, and she talks more about the shadow side. Awesome. Look forward to a video on insomnia. Yes, I'll do a video, and then I'll have a conversation. We'll throw that in there for Thursday, because I know it's a big thing. I went through it, and I was able to fully recover from it. You will too. All right. All right, guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And yeah, a lot of good things are happening. So stay tuned. And thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it. All right. Love you guys. Later.